Today, I am going to share with you a story that is completely real and based on true events. A story that will leave a lasting impact. This event is not only spectacular, but also deeply emotional. A journey that will make you reflect and feel every moment. The story is about to unfold in a way that will keep you on the edge of your seat, capturing your attention from start to finish. Emily and Hardy first met in an American high school, where Emily was a bright student and Hardy was her charismatic teacher. Their shared interests, late-night conversations, and mutual admiration slowly grew into a deep emotional connection. Despite the unconventional nature of their bond, they experienced the thrill of first love, shared dreams, and heartfelt moments that left a lasting impact on both their lives. This story follows their journey through love, heartbreak, personal growth, and the lessons learned along the way. Emily and Hardy had met at an American high school in a small suburban town where everyone seemed to know each other. Emily was a bright and ambitious student who had always loved learning, and Hardy was a young teacher, recently graduated, full of energy and passion for teaching. Their first encounter was in the classroom, where Emily's curiosity and insightful questions caught Hardy's attention immediately. What started as an academic connection soon deepened into something neither of them could quite define at the time. They shared long discussions about literature, history, and dreams of the future. In the quiet corners of the library and in whispered conversations after class, a unique bond formed between teacher and student. A bond that was unusual, yet filled with mutual respect, trust, and emotional intimacy. As months passed, their connection evolved naturally, almost as if their souls recognized one another. Emily admired Hardy's patience and the way he encouraged her ideas, and Hardy found in Emily a rare blend of intelligence, humor, and warmth. They spent hours together discussing books, exchanging notes, and sharing life experiences. Friends began to notice the subtle glances and quiet smiles, though neither Emily nor Hardy wanted to label what was happening between them. It was a connection that defied conventional norms, yet it was built on sincerity, genuine affection, and an unspoken understanding of each other's hearts. Over time, their relationship became more layered. They celebrated small victories together, like Emily receiving high grades on challenging projects, and Hardy landing a new position at the school. They supported each other through personal challenges, from family pressures to self-doubt. They began to communicate outside the classroom, texting and calling late into the night. Their conversations often drifted from casual topics to deeply personal thoughts, dreams for the future, and fears they had never shared with anyone else. In many ways, they became each other's confidants, their emotional dependence growing steadily. Despite the closeness, both Emily and Hardy were aware of the boundaries they needed to maintain in the public eye. Hardy remained professional in school, always careful not to let the personal nature of their connection interfere with his role as a teacher. Emily, too, understood the sensitivity of their relationship. Yet, the emotional intimacy they shared could not be ignored. Their bond was strengthened by shared laughter, quiet moments of understanding, and the feeling that, somehow, they had found in each other a rare and irreplaceable companion. Emily's feelings grew deeper as she matured, realizing that what she felt for Hardy was not simply admiration or friendship. She loved him in a way that was tender, vulnerable, and consuming. She imagined a future where they could openly be together without secrecy or hesitation. Hardy, too, felt a profound affection, though his fears and insecurities sometimes held him back. He had experienced relationships before, but this connection felt different, more intense, and far more fragile. He wanted to protect Emily and their bond, yet the fear of crossing societal lines made him hesitant to embrace the full scope of what they could become. Their mutual respect and love carried them through a complex dance of emotions. Emily often wondered if Hardy reciprocated the depth of her feelings entirely, while Hardy wrestled with the challenges of balancing his emotions and his professional life. Together, they navigated the uncertain terrain of love, trust, and desire, cultivating a relationship that was rich in emotional connection and intellectual intimacy. Over the years, their bond remained unshakable, even as life presented opportunities and distractions that could have easily pulled them apart. As Emily approached her 20s, she began to envision a life that included Hardy not just as a mentor or friend, but as a lifelong partner. He began to understand the gravity of emotional neglect and the weight of broken trust, realizing that his avoidance and fear had cost him the one person who had truly understood and loved him. Despite the past, fate occasionally brought Hardy and Emily back into each other's orbits, though never intentionally. At professional conferences, workshops, and community events, they exchanged brief glances, polite greetings, and sometimes short conversations that carried an undercurrent of nostalgia and unresolved emotion. These encounters were bittersweet, a reminder of the love that had shaped their lives and of the paths they had chosen differently. Emily had grown into a woman of remarkable grace and strength, her heart open but cautious, while Hardy carried the quiet burden of regret, the memory of what he had allowed to dissipate haunting him in private moments. Emily's journey toward healing and renewal was neither linear nor easy. She experienced moments of longing, doubt, and loneliness, yet each challenge reinforced her self-awareness and emotional maturity. She discovered the importance of boundaries, of recognizing when love is not enough to sustain a partnership, and of embracing the unpredictable flow of life with courage. Her experiences taught her empathy, resilience, and the ability to love deeply without losing herself in the process. She also realized that forgiveness, both of Hardy and of herself, was crucial to moving forward, allowing her to release the bitterness that could have otherwise hindered her growth. Hardy, in parallel, began to reevaluate his approach to relationships. The encounters with Emily were humbling, a mirror reflecting his own shortcomings, fears, and emotional immaturity. He sought counseling and mentorship, attempting to understand why he had repeatedly sabotaged meaningful connections and how to cultivate genuine, lasting bonds moving forward. Hardy's path was slow and introspective, filled with self-examination and accountability. He recognized that the casual flippancy that had once seemed harmless had real consequences, and he needed to learn how to honor trust, commitment, and vulnerability in relationships if he hoped to avoid repeating past mistakes. Over time, Emily's life blossomed with new opportunities. She traveled to pursue academic conferences, collaborated on literary projects, and nurtured friendships that became almost familial in their support and warmth. Her heart, once fractured by love and betrayal, now carried a deeper understanding of herself and others. She met new people who respected her boundaries and admired her for the wisdom she had gained. Love came gradually, not as a desperate pursuit, but as a natural extension of her evolving life. When she finally allowed herself to open her heart again, it was with someone who matched her maturity, values, and respect for emotional depth. A partnership built on mutual admiration and integrity rather than impulsive attraction. Hardy watched these developments from a distance, aware that he had missed the chance to be with someone truly exceptional. While he found companionship and casual affection with others, the lessons of his relationship with Emily remained vivid. He learned to value honesty, commitment, and the subtle ways in which one nurtures another's trust. Slowly, he began to rebuild his life with greater self-awareness, understanding that true emotional connection requires patience, empathy, and the courage to act when it matters most. Though he could not change the past, he committed to living with integrity, seeking fulfillment in personal growth, and learning to honor the emotional bonds he formed in the future. Emily and Hardy's story, though marked by heartbreak and missed opportunities, ultimately embodies the complexities of human emotion, growth, and love. It demonstrates that the depth of feeling is not always enough to sustain a relationship, and that personal development, self-respect, and resilience are equally vital components of a fulfilling life. Emily's transformation into a confident, independent, and compassionate woman serves as a testament to the power of healing, the importance of boundaries, and the beauty of rediscovering oneself after loss. Hardy's journey illustrates the enduring impact of choices, the necessity of accountability, and the potential for redemption through self-reflection and sincere effort to improve one's character. The narrative also highlights the subtle yet profound ways that love shapes our lives, even when it does not culminate in lifelong partnership. The memories, emotional lessons, and personal growth derived from a deep, meaningful relationship have a lasting impact, influencing future connections and life decisions. Emily and Hardy's experience is a reminder that love is multifaceted, encompassing joy, intimacy, disappointment, and learning. It teaches that embracing vulnerability, practicing empathy, and approaching relationships with intentionality are essential to both personal and interpersonal growth. By the end of the story, Emily had cultivated a life rich in fulfillment, purpose, and authentic connections. She continued to cherish the love she had experienced, not with bitterness, but with gratitude for the lessons it had imparted. Hardy similarly carried the awareness of his past with humility, striving to approach life and relationships with integrity and thoughtfulness. Their paths diverged, yet both emerged wiser, more compassionate, and more attuned to the delicate intricacies of human emotion. Ultimately, the tale of Emily and Hardy is one of love, loss, personal growth, and emotional resilience. It demonstrates the transformative power of connection, the importance of self-awareness, and the capacity for individuals to evolve through experience. Though their romantic journey did not culminate in shared lifelong happiness, it offered profound lessons about trust, choice, and the enduring significance of authentic human bonds. Their story leaves a lasting impression, inspiring reflection on the nature of love, the consequences of our decisions, and the possibility of renewal and fulfillment in the lives we build after heartbreak. Emily's life continued to unfold with a rhythm of independence, growth, and unexpected joys. Though the memory of Hardy lingered in quiet moments, she had learned to embrace the fullness of her present. Understanding that her past did not define her future, she became more involved in local educational initiatives, mentoring young women in her community and encouraging them to pursue their dreams with confidence and resilience. Her experiences had instilled in her a profound empathy, allowing her to connect with others not just through words, but through shared understanding and genuine care. Emily's heart, once heavy with disappointment, had found a new capacity for hope and measured vulnerability. She realized that love was not merely about possession or permanence, but about honoring connections, learning from them, and growing in ways that would enrich her own life and the lives of others. Meanwhile, Hardy's life was slowly shifting as he confronted the consequences of his past choices. He recognized that his casual approach to relationships had created emotional gaps that could never be filled by fleeting attention or superficial connections. His encounters with Emily had left an indelible mark, a standard of emotional depth and integrity that he now aspired to reach. Hardy began to reflect seriously on the ways he had hurt those who trusted him and considered how he might cultivate meaningful relationships moving forward. He enrolled in personal development workshops, sought mentorship from experienced colleagues, and engaged in community work that challenged him to build empathy and responsibility. Through these efforts, he began to comprehend the importance of emotional consistency, accountability, and the quiet ways that one honors the trust of another person. In time, Emily's professional achievements and community contributions began to draw attention, highlighting her growth as a leader and mentor. She was invited to speak at educational panels, contribute to workshops, and write articles that reflected her insights on resilience, personal growth, and emotional intelligence. Each engagement reinforced her confidence and reminded her of the strength she had cultivated from navigating heartbreak and disappointment. Emily's journey became a testament to the idea that life's setbacks, while painful, could serve as powerful catalysts for personal and professional development. Her story inspired others to see the beauty in perseverance, the value of self-respect, and the importance of nurturing one's own identity, even in the face of emotional challenges. Hardy observed Emily's progress from a distance, sometimes with awe, sometimes with regret. Her achievements reminded him of the depth of what he had let slip through his fingers. He began to understand that love is not only a matter of feeling, but of consistent action, of honoring promises, and of fostering trust and mutual respect. This awareness prompted Hardy to reevaluate his own approach to life and relationships. He recognized that superficial interactions and avoidance of emotional depth had left him isolated from the authentic connections he truly desired. As he confronted these truths, he made a deliberate effort to cultivate sincerity, patience, and emotional intelligence in his interactions with others. Hardy's journey of self-discovery became intertwined with his desire to create a more meaningful and responsible life. The inevitable intersection of Emily and Hardy's worlds created moments of reflection, confrontation, and subtle reconciliation. At a professional event, they unexpectedly found themselves sitting across from each other during a panel discussion. The encounter was charged with unspoken emotion, a delicate mixture of nostalgia, unresolved feelings, and newfound respect. Their conversation was careful yet heartfelt, acknowledging the past without dwelling on bitterness. Emily expressed gratitude for the ways their connection had shaped her understanding of love, trust, and personal growth. Hardy admitted, with quiet humility, that he had learned difficult lessons from their time together and from the choices he had made. There was no rekindling of romance, but a profound recognition of the shared impact they had had on one another's lives. As the years progressed, Emily allowed herself to embrace new possibilities in love, always mindful of the lessons from her past. She approached relationships with careful discernment, seeking partners who shared her values, her commitment to emotional honesty, and her respect for personal growth. Her experiences with Hardy had instilled in her a deep appreciation for genuine connection and the subtle nuances that sustain a lasting bond. Meanwhile, Hardy continued his journey of emotional education, learning to navigate intimacy, responsibility, and vulnerability with greater skill and awareness. Both understood that the past was a powerful teacher, shaping the contours of future relationships and the depth of emotional resilience they could offer one another and those they would meet in life. The story of Emily and Hardy, though marked by early intensity, heartbreak, and missed opportunity, ultimately emphasizes the transformative power of experience. It demonstrates how love, even when unfulfilled, can serve as a catalyst for growth, self-awareness, and emotional sophistication. Emily's emergence as a confident, independent, and compassionate woman stands as a testament to the human capacity for healing and reinvention. Hardy's reflective journey highlights the importance of accountability, intentionality, and the courage to confront personal flaws in the pursuit of authentic connection. Their shared history, though no longer a romantic partnership, continues to influence their choices, their values, and their understanding of what it means to truly love and be loved. By embracing the lessons of their past, both Emily and Hardy were able to move forward with clarity and purpose. Emily cultivated a life that was rich in meaningful relationships, professional achievement, and emotional fulfillment, while Hardy learned to navigate the complexities of human connection with honesty, respect, and thoughtful engagement. Their narrative underscores the essential truth that love, growth, and personal integrity are deeply interconnected, and that the wisdom gained from past experiences can inform and enhance all future endeavors. In the end, Emily and Hardy's story is not defined by the absence of lifelong romance, but by the depth of the emotional and personal transformation that emerged from their shared journey. It is a narrative of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of self-awareness. Their lives, though separate, remain intertwined in memory and in the lessons learned, serving as a quiet reminder that the impact of love is measured not only by its permanence, but by the growth, understanding, and empathy it inspires in those who experience it. Their story leaves an enduring impression, illustrating the richness of human emotion, the consequences of choices, and the profound capacity of individuals to rise above heartbreak, embrace personal growth, and find fulfillment in new beginnings. See you again to next video. She gathered the courage to speak about her future dreams, expressing her desire to marry and build a life together. It was a moment she had rehearsed countless times in her mind, imagining Hardy's response, hoping it would mirror the depth of her own commitment. But Hardy, overwhelmed by fear of societal judgment and uncertainty about his own feelings, struggled to give her the answer she longed to hear. Instead of embracing the path Emily had envisioned, he hesitated, unsure if he could fully commit in the way she desired. The hesitation was subtle at first, a delay in response, a quiet avoidance of the topic, but Emily sensed the growing distance. She noticed the subtle shifts in Hardy's attention, the moments when he seemed distracted or distant. She confronted him gently, seeking clarity, and his answers were careful, measured, yet ultimately evasive. Emily's heart sank as she realized that Hardy, despite his affection and shared memories, was unwilling to take the step toward a lifelong commitment. She tried to understand his perspective, acknowledging the complexity of his position, yet the pain of unfulfilled dreams weighed heavily on her spirit. In the weeks that followed, Emily attempted to preserve the emotional connection they had nurtured for so long, but Hardy's behavior began to change more noticeably. He started to engage casually with other students, his attention seemingly divided, and the moments they once shared were no longer as intimate or frequent. Emily watched helplessly as the man she had loved with unwavering devotion allowed the emotional boundaries between them to dissolve, leaving her with a mix of grief, confusion, and heartbreak. It was a gentle betrayal, not in the form of malice or violence, but in the quiet, almost imperceptible choices that signaled a departure from the love and trust they had cultivated. Despite the growing sadness, Emily chose resilience over resentment. She understood that Hardy's inability to commit was not a reflection of her worth, but rather a mirror of his own fears and limitations. She focused on her personal growth, pursuing her education, exploring her passions, and surrounding herself with supportive friends and mentors who reminded her of her strength and potential. Her heartbreak became a catalyst for self-discovery, teaching her the value of self-respect, emotional boundaries, and the importance of recognizing when love, however deep, may not align with another's capacity for commitment. The story of Emily and Hardy is one of intense emotional connection, tender love, and the bittersweet reality of unfulfilled expectations. It is a narrative that highlights the beauty of human connection, the complexity of emotional intimacy, and the difficult choices that sometimes define our paths. Emily's journey, though marked by heartbreak, also illuminates resilience, self-awareness, and the capacity to transform pain into personal growth. Hardy, meanwhile, faced his own reckoning, confronting the consequences of indecision, fear, and the pursuit of fleeting pleasures over lasting emotional bonds. Their tale serves as a poignant reflection on the delicate balance between love, desire, responsibility, and courage. It reminds us that the depth of feeling alone cannot sustain a relationship if mutual commitment and integrity are absent. Yet even in heartbreak, there is beauty in the love that was shared, the lessons learned, and the emotional maturation that emerges from navigating such profoundly human experiences. Emily and Hardy's story is a testament to the power of love, the inevitability of disappointment, and the enduring hope that life, despite its sorrows, offers opportunities for new beginnings and deeper understanding of the self. After the painful separation from Hardy, Emily took a step back from her past, seeking solace and clarity in the life she had once paused for love. She focused on her education, completing her degree with distinction, and immersed herself in community work, teaching children at local literacy programs and mentoring young students who reminded her of her younger self. Emily discovered strength in independence, realizing that her identity was not defined by a single relationship, but by her own passions, resilience, and capacity for growth. Friends and colleagues noticed a newfound confidence in her, a calm yet vibrant presence that inspired those around her. Meanwhile, Hardy faced the quiet consequences of his choices. Though he continued teaching and interacting with students, his casual approach to relationships began to erode the trust others placed in him. The emotional intimacy he had once shared with Emily lingered in his thoughts, a constant reminder of what he had allowed to slip away. Conversations with peers and self-reflection forced him to confront the reality that fleeting pleasures and indecision could never replace the depth of a genuine, enduring connection.